Oh, hell.
Way to go, Charlie.
All platforms.
We're not getting any views on Twitter tonight.
Damn it. What the hell happened?
I can still share it to Twitter.
We're live, right?
Yep, we're live now. We got 3 people so far.
Welcome to Conservative Viewpoint, where the truth always matters. Your hosts are Charlie the Country Conservative and Brendan Statler from The Brendan Statler Show. Now on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Conservative Viewpoint, where we dissect the tangled web of Washington politics with a critical eye. I'm your host, Charlie, the Country Conservative.
And I'm Brendan Statler from The Brendan Statler Show.
And today we're diving headfirst into the chaos that continues to grip our nation's capital. So I want you to picture this, a city adorned with marble monuments where the echoes of democracy should resonate through every corridor. But alas, the District of Columbia has become a theater of absurdity, a place where the will of the people is trampled upon like yesterday's news. The DC government, entrusted by its citizens, has taken a detour from the path of duty. They veered off the road paved by ballots instead of embarked on a journey of self-interest and political maneuvering. So what did the people vote for? Transparency, accountability, and a government that listens. But what did we get? A bureaucratic maze where promises evaporated like the morning dew. Remember the Visa rule? That once noble instrument designed to safeguard against foreign threats? Well, it's now a weapon wielded by those who seek to undermine our democracy. Democrats, in their desperation to spy on political opponents, twisted its purpose, turning it into a surveillance tool against their own citizens. Shameful, isn't it? Now let's talk about inflation, the silent thief that robs hardworking Americans of their purchase power. Divide administration dances around the truth, painting a rosy picture while grocery bills and gas prices skyrocket. They protected the art of deception, replacing facts with fairy tales. So, my fellow conservatives, grab your coffee, adjust your earbuds, and let's dissect the headlines. The DC government may have lost its way, but we're here to shine a spotlight on their missteps. Welcome to the Conservative Viewpoint, where the truth, liberty, and common sense reign supreme.
We have breaking news. Over the last few hours, we have seen massive protests involving Sharia supremacist terrorists break out from coast to coast throughout the country. The most notable one so far is on the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. I have a video to show you guys of the protest that is currently, as far as we know, still taking place on the Golden Gate Bridge. Let's play that real quick. I'll speak since there's no sound in this video. One thing I want to make everyone aware of with this, it took the police in San Francisco 5.5 hours before they responded to these criminals blocking the bridge. Absolutely no reason that it should take 5.5 hours for police response when you're blocking a major bridge such as the Golden Gate Bridge. Look at how far traffic is backed up. And this has also spilled over into nearby Oakland, California. and has stretched as far as New York City. I have a video from New York City. Let's play that. Was that one of the Alphabet Mafia flags I saw in there?
Yeah,
gotta
probably.
love the poorly educated. They have no idea what happens to gay and trans people in these shithole countries, as Trump would like to say. This stretched all the way to O'Hare Airport in Chicago, Illinois. I have a video from CBS News, Chicago. Let's play that real quick.
This traffic is returning back to normal on the outbound Kennedy Expressway after protesters blocked the road to O'Hare Airport.
Dozens of police cars and emergency vehicles blocked the expressway as police tried to contain groups that were stopping traffic. They wore signs reading "Free Palestine" and "Stop Genocide."
Take a look at the view from the backup from Chopper 2. The ramp to get to the airport looks more like a parking lot. Our nonstop news crew even saw people walking on the side of the road with their suitcases.
One more view for you now. This is from our traffic camera where cars are now moving again, and that started about 9:15. Things are still a little bit slower than normal, so if you're headed to the airport later today, you may want to consider taking the CTA Blue Line. Police have not told us if anyone at that scene was arrested.
Isn't this amazing that this is allowed to happen in all these blue cities? Now, there's a lot to digest here. A lot of these cities have voted for this. A lot of them have voted for this. So you reap what you sow in the end. But these people are obviously criminals. For one, supporting terrorism in the United States is against the law. That is exactly what these people are doing. This comes just after, and of course, blocking major roadways is also illegal for obvious reasons. At least it used to be. And this comes just a day after Iran attacked Israel, and Joe Biden originally delivered the message that he was not in support of retaliation from Israel. They have since switched that message today. Now they are in full support of Israel defending themselves. This is just disgusting. This is the Summer of Love 2.0 that this is the next stage of the mostly peaceful protests, as MSNBC would say. They are starting to, they're trying to redo 2020. Remember all the riots and the roads being blocked we saw during Floydapalooza in 2020. They are bringing that back with these Sharia supremacists. Why? Because Donald Trump is doing so well in the polls. Need more evidence of how they're trying to redo 2020? I don't have a video for this, and I wish I would have got it before I came on, honestly. As many of you have heard, there was a shooting in Chicago last night involving police and a 22-year-old black man. Now, of course, the media is giving us the same sob story every time there is a black man that happens to be shot by police. What they do not show you is the body cam footage that shows the 22-year-old black man staying in his car, disobeying police commands to come out of his vehicle, and he opens fire on the police first. The police then returned fire, and they killed him. Now, the media is presenting this man much like they did George Floyd. Most of the news outlets actually use pictures from his high school graduation to try to tug on the heartstrings of the few 20 people that still read their bullshit news articles. But this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to redo 2020 Floydapalooza. They see how well Donald Trump is doing in the polls. They see how much Donald Trump has improved with the black community. The latest example, look at Donald Trump's reception at the Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, Georgia last week, with pretty much all black people in there, all coming up and hugging him, taking pictures with him. They are trying to reinstitute the racial divide that we saw in 2020 so they could steal another election. They're going back to demonizing the police because they see how well Donald Trump is doing with law enforcement. A couple weeks ago, Donald Trump was endorsed by the police union in Michigan. In his most recent trip to Atlanta, Georgia, the same trip where he was greeted by many black Americans at Chick-fil-A, there were many police officers, Atlanta's police officers, that were coming up to Donald Trump, shaking his hand, taking selfies with him. They see the way the trend is going. They have to reinvent 2020. And they are doing it. They can't do it with Black Lives Matter anymore. Now they're doing it with these Sharia supremacists. That is going to be the driving factor. But they need the racial divide and the demonization of police to try to pull this off again, to pull off a steal like they did in 2020. We cannot fall for it again.
We also got the breaking news from Israel, where Iran has shot 300 missiles at Israel. And only one person got hurt in the whole exchange. And what'd you say about Biden?
He issued a statement last night, I believe it was. I guess he had a call with Benjamin Netanyahu, and he said that initially he does not support retaliation for Israel to retaliate against Iran for this attack. Now, apparently, his team is walking back that statement. They now support Israel defending themselves.
Right. There was a general on here earlier, and this was after we got the show set up, so we didn't get any of the video and stuff from that. The general was saying they are going to protect our people over in Israel and in the Middle East from any attack from Iran, which they did help stop some of the 300 missiles that Iran fired, which I found out that these missiles were from China. China has stockpiled Iran with these missiles that they fired off, and have helped blow them up before a lot of people got hurt. So only one person in the whole exchange. So this was a complete failure for Iran. Now, the general did say that Israel will take some kind of response to this, but he won't say when. He didn't say what kind of response. He said he's not going to talk for Israel. He'll let Israel do the talking for themselves. But what he did say that he will protect our people over here, and it will not happen. But Joe Biden has showed his weakness by telling Israel not to retaliate. You get attacked by terrorists, what do? You're going to protect yourself, your country, and your people. But not
Absolutely.
with this Joe Biden in office.
Yeah, it almost makes you wonder, is this the way he would react if, God forbid, we were attacked on U.S. soil? And that is a very real possibility of happening, by the way. Is this the same response this guy would give? I think it would be. But imagine if this was Ukraine, how they are always willing to protect Ukraine no matter what. Imagine if Russia was the one attacking Israel. Imagine how different the response would be. The reason that they are flip-flopping on this issue is because they see the radical left wing of the party, the Sharia supremacists, that are not going to vote for Joe Biden. They want the vote from the Sharia supremacists. So that is why they are playing both sides of this. They can't come out and say that they're for terrorism, but they're alluding to it. They're trying to win these domestic terrorists, let's just call them what they are, back. That's exactly what they're trying to do. These people are absolutely disgusting, because I have absolutely no doubt that if this was anybody else, even if it was us being attacked here right now, that would be that stupid prick sitting in the White House. That would be his response as well. He would not want us to retaliate. Well, look, we haven't even retaliated for the 13 soldiers that were killed by the Taliban in Afghanistan.
Right.
Matter of fact, this guy checked his watch when the caskets were coming.
Joe Biden is a coward, plain and simple. And this is what we're seeing every day with his Biden administration. I was trying to think of what the hell I was just getting ready to say and lost it all. Oh, the word don't. Did you hear Joe Biden was telling Iran and said, don't. That's the only word he said. Told Iran, don't. If they had any plans on attacking Israel, all he said was don't. Well, how'd that work out for you, Joe? He also said don't to Russia about attacking Ukraine. But he followed it up with don't, but couple little skirmishes, that'll be okay. He also said don't to Hamas when they're going to attack them. Also, we got Kamala Harris, the border czar, told the illegal criminals the word don't come into America. So how do you show strength by saying a one-word phrase to people, to our enemies, and saying don't? Is that
You
supposed
can't.
to is that supposed to discourage somebody?
No, and nobody respects this guy on the world stage. Nobody respects him. Look at this guy. These people see what we're seeing every day, and sometimes even more. There's no possible way you could have respect for this guy. Nobody takes him seriously because he's not a serious person, and they understand he's a puppet. He's not in charge. This guy is hands down the worst person to ever occupy the White House, and we've had some shitty presidents. This guy is hands down the worst. It is not even a competition. Anybody that is still even entertaining the idea of voting for this guy, you are a special kind of stupid. And I hope to God you leave the country when Donald Trump is sworn in as the 47th president. And I mean that. I will help you pack. I will pay for your plane ticket out here, one-way plane ticket. We do not want you here. If you have been through the shitstorm that we have been over the last few years and you were still entertaining the idea of voting for this prick, we don't want you here. There is no room for you here.
Well, that's with all these protests that are going on today. They're popping off all over the country. Because according to Fox, and I didn't get a screenshot of it, but they said like 15 or 20 different protests have been going off all over the country. And they sue I think it's the Houthis terrorist group.
Yeah, Houthis,
and they saw that flag walking around New York. And everything that these protesters are doing is against the law of the United States. You cannot support terrorism. That is illegal here. And they've got a multitude of fines for the people that did get arrested. That's only if these Democrat-run cities, and you notice they're all Democrat-run cities, charge these people.
Yeah, and they're not going to. These people, hell, they're probably not even going to have to post bail. Kamala Harris will probably bail all these people out like she did the Black Lives Matter terrorists in 2020. That's what's going to happen with these people because these people are doing exactly what the Democrat Party and really many of the Republicans, if we're being honest, are doing exactly what the deep state wants them to do. So, of course, they're not going to face any repercussions, and it's always in blue cities. I guarantee you this stuff is not happening in Texas or Florida. It's only happening in blue areas because these people know they could get away with it. With No consequences whatsoever. These and the thing is, the media is going to paint these people in such a beautiful light, like they did the Black Lives Matter terrorists that were burning down cities last year. There's going to be documentaries about these people. It makes the movement look so great and everything. I'm telling you, that's what this is going to be. Every one of these people should be locked up and the keys should be thrown away. We should be letting the January 6th protesters out, and we should put these people in.
Absolutely. And not to jump back and forth here, but with Iran and all that stuff, you had John Kirby. Of course, they're going to try to push this off and blame Trump for it.
Of course.
But who's the one that gave Iran and unfroze the accounts for billions of dollars so they can, and knowingly they are a state-sponsored terrorist country.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to sit there and that John Kirby, that moron that he is, blame Trump and saying that was from the last administration. No, it wasn't. Joe Biden removed the freeze on Iran's accounts and is a pushover to all these people. He's given them money. He's been funding these people since day one he got into office. And they wanted to make it believe that Trump has done all this stuff. Trump got us out of that stupid ass nuclear agreement with Iran because Iran was still allowed to make nukes. And now what? Because Joe Biden installed into the White House 3.5 years ago is allowing them to make nukes. They are this close to having a fully nuclear weapon because of Joe Biden and Joe Biden's weakness. And this country can't handle it. And we can't have it.
Yeah, absolutely right. You know, it's just funny how the media and the leftists have gone completely silent on this whole issue. Remember when everyone was screaming when Donald Trump ran back in 2016 that he was going to get us in a nuclear war? Everyone was concerned about Kim Jong-un and North Korea.
Right.
Trump was the one that kept us out of wars, was working on peace deals in the Middle East. We had no new wars. We were getting out of Afghanistan the right way, not the way that Joe Biden ended up getting us out. You know, we were having peace throughout the world because we had peace for strength. We were respected. People, these other world leaders were afraid of Trump, and fear is a good thing. People cannot like his personality, whatever. But when you are the president, particularly of the United States, the most powerful nation in the world, you have to have that little, I don't want to say that on here, the little F around and find out mentality. You have to make these people think that you're a little bit crazy, that you are willing to bomb the shit out of them if it comes down to it. You know, that's just the way you have to be as president of the United States. So people could not like his rhetoric and whatever, but you know what? There was nobody ever thought about screwing around when Trump was in. Nobody ever thought about attacking the United States. Nobody ever thought about attacking Israel. Even Ukraine wouldn't have happened. Russia and Ukraine would not have happened if Trump was still in the White House. Now look at all this stuff that has happened since Biden has been illegitimately installed into the White House. How in the hell can anyone vote for this guy? How can you not? We have Donald Trump. We know what we're going to get with Trump. And you see the shitstorm that we've been in since Biden has been in the White House. This shouldn't even be a decision. It should be pretty easy.
It is, but these idiots don't look at that. They want to listen to what Joe Biden and what he writes to these fake news media to tell them, you know, to tell his sheepies that everything's fine and everything's great. And the inflation is going way back up again. I just went and got fuel in my truck, and it was almost $5 a gallon again because of Joe Biden. With all these wars, like you said, this is what the Democrat Party does. If you go back and look, and I'm not saying because we had a Republican do the same thing with Iran, George Bush.
Yeah, Bush was a disaster for sure.
Yeah, he started a war because they threatened to kill his daddy. and lied to the American people and said there was weapons of mass destruction there. So we had to get our people over there.
And they wanted the oil. I got to throw that out there. They wanted the oil over there.
Right.
I think that was the biggest motivating factor. But yeah, that all came from Bush, a Republican.
So I'm not telling you that Republicans are at fault, but this is what the Democrats do every time they're in charge. They have some kind of conflict start. All Joe Biden had to do was sit on his ass, do nothing, and ride Trump's coattail. Trump had everything set in place for whoever the next president was going to be after him, and you didn't have to do a thing, and you could take the pat on the back because you're the president and everything looked good. But no,
and
that.
Yeah, and the media. Think about it. Joe Biden did nothing and just rode Trump's coattails, as you say. If he would have done that, the media probably would have covered for him. They would have looked at it as they would have reported as these are all Biden's accomplishments, even when they're really Trump's. Right. And the economy would be great. Everything would be just fine right now if he would have done nothing. I mean, that would have been my approach. Then look, you got rid of Donald. Yeah, and then you got rid of Donald Trump, which is their main objective. That would have been the way to do it. But they are so they're so possessed by their severe case of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. They had to go in and reverse every single thing that Donald Trump did, no matter how great it was for the country. Donald Trump did it. We couldn't have it. We couldn't have it because Donald Trump did it. And now you see what the complete opposite, after they've reversed virtually everything that Donald Trump did, you see how different, how different it was 4 or 5 years ago to now. Even 4 years ago when Trump was leaving office after we just went through a pandemic that was unleashed on us by the Chinese Communist Party, the economy was coming back very strong. Look at that time, late 2020, even into early 2021 before Biden was illegitimately sworn in, to now. This is the complete opposite. And it's absolutely terrible. Go ahead, Charlie. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you didn't. The libtards don't want to listen to this stuff. They want to sit there and say everything was bad under Trump. But again, when I gave them the ultimatum, told them, come on our show and tell us what Biden has done good for this country. But yet nobody will run their mouth in here. They want to run their mouth in like Newsbreak because they have a little chat place that you can go to.
They just want to go. They just want to go their echo chambers. That's it. That's right. It. They don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, because Newsbreak is a liberal site too. And they run their mouths. And there was one thing that came on today that Newsbreak said that we're finally going to get to have a felon of a president, announce a felon of a president today. And I told him to go F off.
It's not even a felony. No, I don't think it is.
There's nothing he's done is even a crime.
Well, let me put it this way: it shouldn't be a felony under normal circumstance. They'll probably turn it into one. Well, they probably did if he was indicted over it. That was his first indictment, but it shouldn't be a felony under normal circumstances. It would not be a felony, even if he was guilty of it. It wouldn't be a felony, but they've turned it into a felony.
Well, there's no hush money in New York is not against the law.
No.
And what what they're saying is that Trump paid her. Well, no, that Cohen, the perjurer, liar, convicted liar himself, is the one that paid her the money and then billed Trump for legal services. Trump wrote his check out to Cohen for legal services. That is not illegal. That is exactly what he said, because the first one, and you never know to believe Cohen, he is a serial perjurer, and a judge actually called him that. And this is one of the witnesses that they are counting on to convict Trump. Him and that hooker whore, what's her name? Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels.
So you've got a whore and you've got a serial perjurer that they are counting on convicting Trump through. Well, you've got two witnesses right there that are not credible.
And by the way, her former lawyer is sitting in prison to this day. The one that was
Right.
originally, yeah, I forget his name. The Tucker used to call him the creepy porn lawyer. I forget his
Yeah.
name, but anyway, yeah, he's sitting in prison. But unrelated, of course. But where was I going with this? I just lost my train of thought. But this is where I was going with this. Either scenario you look at is not illegal. Whether Donald Trump paid her the money directly to keep quiet about their affair, or it was, through legal services, he wrote the check. Either one of those are illegal.
No.
Neither one's illegal. So I still don't understand what the argument is. I mean, I know the argument that they put out on, CNN and MSNBC, what they're accusing him of doing, but everything I've heard, it doesn't sound like a crime. Like, what? I think they're just trying to shame him more than anything. Like, look, this guy cheated on his wife, his former wife, with a porn star and all stuff. It's like, who gives a shit? That was years before he even thought about running for office. What does it matter? What does that have to do with him being president? It doesn't have a thing, and the majority of people, if you were to ask people, if they really give two shits about this, with whether Donald Trump slept with Stormy Daniels and gave her money to keep quiet about the affair, most people don't care about that. It doesn't matter. It's just, it's a ridiculous argument. And like I said, I think I mentioned this last video. That says a lot about Donald Trump, that this is the type of shit they're trying to get him on. Either this dude is squeaky clean or he's incredibly smart and covered every single track possible. Because these cases are an absolute joke. There is not one of these cases that is credible. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Trump supporter. There is absolutely nothing credible about any of these cases. These are all laughable. These are all a joke. These are going to be laughed at in the history books years from now. These are just absolute jokes. That's the only way to say it. It's almost like a big Saturday Night Live skit. It's a big joke.
Did you tell him about what the judge told Trump?
Oh, the judge in the I believe it was the hush money trial. Well, yeah. That's where he was at today.
Right.
But I just saw this on Twitter. I haven't heard much about what happened today, but I saw on Twitter Trump's video speaking after the press. The judge will not allow him to attend Barron Trump's high school graduation, which is coming up soon because of proceedings going on. Now, as we said before, this is not even a felony. At least it shouldn't be. There are people that have done far worse, even if Donald Trump is absolutely guilty on everything they're accusing him of doing. We all know he's not, but even if he was absolutely guilty and everything they were saying about him is true, there is absolutely no reason that they can't move this stuff around so he could attend his son's high school graduation. There is absolutely no good reason for that whatsoever. You still don't think this is politically motivated? How can you look at this and say that that is not politically motivated? They're doing this to try to hurt him because one thing that even Hillary Clinton said it about Donald Trump. He is very close to his children and grandchildren. They know that this will hurt him by not being able to go to Barron Trump's graduation. If I was Donald Trump, I would go anyway. I would let them arrest me because you know what? This is all a rigged trial anyway. It's in New York City. You can't get a fair trial. If I were him, I would go to Barron's graduation, and I would wait for them to arrest me. I would. Why not?
They told him that he'll be in every day of this hearing. But they were also talking about New York is backed up in a backlog of over 2 to 3 years of murder cases and serious crimes. But they're going to push this, which, like you said, there's no felony, there's no crime, there's nothing. This is a minor misdemeanor if there was a crime. But they pushed all these murder charges and stuff off to the side, which are serious crimes, criminals, to persecute Trump, just to keep him off the ballot. That's what this is all about. It's election interference. And if you don't think so, you're an idiot. Because
and if you
all these trials is about keeping him off the ballot.
Yeah, and by the way, your tax dollars are paying for all this. I don't care where you live.
That's another
Your tax
thing.
dollars are paying for the persecution of Donald Trump. That should piss you off more than anything.
That would be another thing. If these people would have to use their own money for these fraudulent trials in every state, Florida, Georgia, New York, everywhere, if they would have to use their own money, and when they get a conviction, get paid back for it, this would never happen.
No, not at all. Not at all. And it's, like I said before, this is clearly politically motivated. There's, just look at how they're, like Charlie said, they're pushing all these murder cases to the side. They're pushing all these other cases aside for these really weak cases against Donald Trump because they are trying to do everything they can to keep him from winning. I don't know what their game plan is at this point because the reason they brought these indictments, I really believe this, is so Donald Trump's base would move away from him because of these indictments, and they would go towards another candidate like Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott, somebody they could either beat or somebody that's not going to produce the change that Donald Trump would if he got in again. I like Tim Scott. And Ron DeSantis, I go back and forth on, honestly.
Yeah.
I like what he's done as governor, but I don't know how much I trust him. And I guess I could say the same about Tim Scott, too. But even if they got in with good intentions, I don't think they have the strength that Trump does to completely obliterate the deep state like Donald Trump will do if he gets back in. So that was their end game. Make the base move away from Donald Trump and move towards someone like Ron DeSantis or Tim Scott. Well, that didn't happen. Now they're kind of like a cornered animal. They don't know what to do at this point because this has never happened before. If you, excuse me, if you look at past campaigns, any type of indictment or even a rumor of some type of misconduct, that would completely sink a campaign, but especially an indictment. I don't remember anybody ever running for office through indictments. They thought for sure this would sink Donald Trump, and it didn't. It only made him stronger.
Oh, that's for sure. Everything that they do has been backfiring from him from day one. And I'll let you all know that all this that we've been talking about for this past 38 minutes was not on our schedule to do today, but we got so much that came out today because of this, because there's so much happening around here because of the Biden administration, the weakness, and the other thing that I sent you, and I'm bouncing back and forth here, but did you? I don't think you got that. Another part of a weakness, the Baltimore Bridge. The FBI has opened up a criminal investigation, and supposedly, Brendan, I sent you this, the Chinese was involved in this. So now we're going to see, I know people were blowing out their ass about a terrorist attack on the bridge, and I said no. I said no, and Dan Bongino always says, use the Bongino rule. You got to give it a couple of days and see what's happening. But now the FBI has opened a criminal investigation into the bridge, stating possible Chinese involvement in this bridge. So this just goes along with the weakness of Joe Biden, letting China get away with everything that they do. And this is the outcome of what Joe Biden's presidency is about.
Right. And I'll tell you the reason that this is just my opinion. I don't really have many facts to back this up. This is just a feeling that I have. So, take this with a grain of salt at the end of the day. But the reason I think that this is terrorism, talking about the Baltimore Bridge, is because when this first happened, the day this happened, you remember they had the press conference down there in Baltimore with Pete Buttigieg and governor of Maryland and the DEI mayor of Baltimore. Nobody knew anything about what happened. Nobody had an answer for anything. They kept saying that it's an ongoing investigation. It's an ongoing investigation. But they were definitively, sorry, I can't speak.
You got it right.
I was just doing it that emphasis. But they were able to say that it was definitely not terrorism. How is it that you know nothing about what happened, but you were able to rule out terrorism? And now we're learning that there's Chinese involvement. I think this is terrorism. Like I said, don't have many facts to back that up, but I said it the day it happened. I said they know nothing about this case, but they could say for a fact that it was not terrorism. They know nothing about this accident, how it happened, but they know for a fact that it was not terrorism. It's going to turn out to be terrorism. I'm still sticking with that.
Well, I got this from American Military News. Whistleblower group claims China launched terrorist attack on Baltimore Bridge. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is reportedly conducting a criminal investigation into last month's Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, which led to the death of 6 construction workers. The FBI is investigating, which was confirmed on Monday, which would be today, comes with a new report claims that the bridge collapse was allegedly a terrorist attack directed by the Chinese Communist Party. So it took what'd they say last month? And it took them this long to open an investigation into the bridge collapse. And you were talking about Buttigieg, butt plug.
Yeah.
Butt plug don't know shit. He doesn't know anything about what he's doing. He's another miserable, worthless piece of shit. Biden administration, and every one of these people need to be held accountable for everything that has gone on in this country, because
absolutely
they have destroyed this country. They sure to hell aren't protecting the American citizens like they are supposed to under their oath of office that they take, and none of them has lived up to this. We could go through the whole administration and show you the lies and the corruption from every single person in his administration. I don't think we have that much time.
No, we would have to. We could probably take up a whole week. Well, hell, maybe even a whole month. We got a lot of material with that.
Oh,
but yeah, it's just. I don't know, like the whole Baltimore Bridge thing. Like I said, it's just something's very fishy about that. And the other aspect of this, they will not release the identity of the person that was operating the ship,
the captain.
Why? Yeah, why won't they? Why won't they release the name of the captain? Something's very fishy with this. You know, anytime they don't want to release the name of somebody involved, particularly when it's an adult. I know it's different with children. You can't release names of people that are underage unless you're Kyle Rittenhouse.
Right.
But,
oh yeah.
But there's no reason we should not know this guy's name. Absolutely no reason. Something's being covered up.
Yep. And this is what the Biden administration and the corrupt Democrats do best. They cover up every damn thing that goes on. I've never seen like KJP, the worst press secretary I have ever witnessed, lie so much and cover up and walk back every damn thing Joe Biden has done for 3.5 years. That's all this administration has done. They've had to walk back things that he said, things that he does, him falling down. They try to walk back. They try to blame it on everybody else. This administration was supposed to be the most open and transparent administration ever. They have not once been transparent. They're not clear. No. And that is what KJP's big mouth runs all the time and says, we've been very clear on this subject. What the hell you have? You haven't been clear about a damn thing, you idiot. And
not at all.
I can't stand it. I cannot stand even watching her. And it's tough for me when I do need to find some information. Tune into one of her press conferences because you'll laugh, you'll cry. Oh my God. And it's just like going through CNN and all the places.
Sometimes you'll even throw up.
Oh, no doubt. It's just I cannot stand it. I cannot stand what, and I do this for you guys. So you guys should be thankful. We do this stuff for you. And it's just horrible.
Yeah, it's she's hands down the worst press secretary ever. But although that me and Charlie watch this stuff for you guys, it is still very important for you to do your own due diligence at the end of the day. We're glad everyone comes here and watches us, for stuff that you're not going to see in the mainstream media. But at the same time, it's important that people do their own research at the same time too. You have to arm yourself with knowledge if you want to take down this evil that is plaguing our nation. So it's very important to be aware of what is going on and not just watching people that you agree with. Like I've said before, just about every morning, not every morning, but pretty consistently, I watch Morning Joe on MSNBC just about every morning. And believe me, I hate every one of those people. Everything they say is a lie. Every single thing. But I'm telling you, if you want to know what your enemy is thinking, that's the program to watch. And Politico is the Bullshitico, yes. They are the outlet to read, though, if you want to know what your enemy is doing. That is the Democrat playbook. Yep. So I highly recommend people once in a while watch Morning Joe on MSNBC and read a little bit of Politico every once in a while. I know it's hard. Believe me. But I'm telling you, it's the art of war. It's about knowing your enemy. You will have a better understanding of what is going on if you know your enemy.
Oh, most definitely. And I'm going to break from a little bit of this, but I'm going to ask you guys to make sure you check out our Rumble pages. Mine is The Country Conservative. Don't forget to follow me, like my videos, share my videos with your friends and family. Help me get the truth out there. You can also check out Brendan's Rumble page at the Brendan Statler Show. Also, don't forget to follow him, check out his videos, share them with as many people as possible, because that gets our truth out to people, especially being this election is so important. That is why we are doing these live streams. That's why we do some of our small videos that we do. So people realize what kind of trouble we are in if we lose this election. So I want to thank you guys in advance for following us and liking our videos and joining us here on here and helping us spread the word that we are trying to get out here. We're small, but we're mighty. And we will get out stuff to you that some people won't get. Like Brendan said, that you will not hear most of this stuff that we put out through the fake lame news media. And that's why we do this. And I keep looking down here because I'm looking at Brendan at the same time I'm looking at you. So sorry about that. If I keep looking down, I show you my bald head. So that's not a good thing.
Yeah, I'm blind. Stop doing that. You need to turn off that light or keep your head up, all right?
Yeah, I got to do that. So we got to make sure we got to make sure we can get our reach out to further to people. So please give us a thumbs up on Rumble too. That's important to help us get our words spread out even more. Give us a thumbs up. Leave comments in the comment section, and that'll help us out a lot. But now back to the show where Brendan was talking about that, and I did have a piece here. I am going to throw this one out because of Brendan bringing this up. But the fake news media and everything. U.S. Today actually changes a Trump headline shortly after getting chewed out by the Biden campaign. This is how much corruption that goes on when they are not supposed to be even messing with these fake news journalists and stuff. But the national newspaper chain USA Today made itself seem like it was colluding with the Biden campaign by changing a headline after Biden campaign complained about the paper's coverage of Trump's policy stance on abortion. The complaint came in during a news conference held Monday by Biden-Harris campaign manager Julie Chavez Rodriguez, Deputy Communications Director, Brooke Grower, and pro-abortion advocate Caitlin Cash to rail about coverage of Trump's recent announcement and his position on abortion. So Trump cried about them covering what Trump believes the abortions should be sent back to the states. But they cried about it. So USA Today bows down and kisses the ass of the corrupt Biden administration and changes their headline just because of them. So you see what kind of bullshit that we're putting up with here. Why we tell you in all of our videos and our live streams, you got to get out and vote. Got to get out of office. You got to get Republicans in office. And we're not telling you that the Republicans are the answer, but they are the answer to get us back on track, get our inflation down, get our gas prices and food prices down. This is why we do this stuff for you guys. We try to do this to try to help because November's coming up fast, people. And we are still going to be covering primaries and stuff, not the single state stuff. I don't know, maybe if we're on, because Pennsylvania is coming up, and we're from Pennsylvania, so we might cover that one on the 23rd while we're on. I think it goes off, our polls close at 7. So if while we're on, we might go over a little bit just to get the numbers.
Yeah, possibility. I might be joining over phone for that one. I might be helping out our state representative, Bud Cook, that night, so I might have to try to join.
Do a live stream. That'll be perfect.
Cell phone. Yeah, hopefully service is good enough because that would be cool to do actually.
Yeah, if you could get Bud Cook if he's down there, that would be cool.
Yeah, it might be hard to do. Hopefully that would be nice to do, but he's got to make his rounds all through the district, so it's hard to see.
You could probably get one of his assistants or somebody that shows up at the polls.
Possibly.
Maybe interview him and get an interview for us. That would be pretty cool.
I could interview people that I know are voting Democrat. We could have a little controversial TV.
Yeah,
that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be fun.
I was called a QAnon insurrectionist one time when I was working the polls in Carmichael's. Some fat guy in sweatpants looked like he still a virgin, lived in his mother's basement. But you know
that's a Biden voter.
Oh, it was for sure.
And there's stuff.
It was a good time.
That is crazy. But there is so much that we can talk about with everything that's going on here, and especially like New York. They're worried about persecuting Trump when they had here, I think it was yesterday and the day before, more assaults by illegal criminals. And it never stops. It never stops. Every time you turn around, there's another assault by these people. They're being booted out of one of their 5-star hotels, and they're not liking that too much. And this is the kind of stuff that goes on every single day. And that's why we hope to get more of a viewer. And for some reason, Twitter didn't go live today.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt us on this one. We have Rumble is, of course, our main platform, but I would say Twitter is our next in line for most views. So Twitter not having the live stream of this, that's going to hurt us on this one. So if you guys are watching, share us with everyone, of course, because that's definitely going to hurt us. Sometimes we can't get certain platforms to load. We don't know why, and we don't know it until as we're going live if it's going to work or not. And Twitter didn't work this one for whatever reason.
You'll see that at the beginning of this video because we went live, and I was trying to see if I could get Twitter to go back up. And I did have problems with that before, but this might have been my fault. And I might not have got the switched over for Twitter.
It certainly wasn't my fault.
All right, Biden administration. You gotta put the blame on me.
It was Trump's fault.
Yeah, it was Trump's. Trump did it all. And I wish Trump was here to do the fault because I could get on that interview. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be. We would definitely have views for that one.
Oh, heck yeah. So I'm just sitting here. I'm scrolling through all my stuff here and getting some stuff ready because everything that I had planned for today, except for that USA Today one, I'm going to do tomorrow because we did not get through anything that I wanted to do, and I don't have a problem with that because this was more important than the stuff that I had planned for you guys. And we want to get the most recent information out to you, and some of this stuff that I've put out or had planned, a couple days old, 2-3 days old, maybe 4 days, and some stuff. But I will put out some stuff because it is still important to show you the corruption, especially in California and all these Democrat-run cities, because it's what we see every single day. And if you guys in chat have any opinions on any of the stuff that we go over, please don't hesitate to go through there, because I think that's Harold that made that comment, right?
Possibly. I forget what it is.
I think Stephen comes up, but he was absolutely right. Like you said, make them find him in contempt, but put out a warrant, arrest him, take a mug shot, and win him the election. He's absolutely right, because this is what they've done. They've done this on every damn indictment that they put him on, and
absolutely
every time his poll numbers go up.
Yeah, I wonder what it's going to be after today when that video, I mean, because it's all over Twitter right now, when they find out the judge won't even let him go to his own son's high school graduation. I mean, that is, I don't care if you absolutely hate Trump. There is no way you could justify that, because like I said, even Hillary Clinton has said how close he is to his kids. She said it in 2016 when one of the it was during the town hall. One of the voters asked him, can you say one thing positive about the other? If I were Trump, I wouldn't have been able to come up with anything for Hillary, but that's neither here nor there. But that was what Hillary Clinton said. He cares deeply about his children. I think he's a really good father. So, there's no good reason for that whatsoever. There are people that have been convicted of much more serious crimes than this, and they have moved stuff around so they could attend their whether it be a kid's graduation, a funeral for a family member, whatever. There's no reason that he should not be able to go to his son's graduation. It's all politically motivated. They're doing it to hurt him. It's absolute bullshit.
Most definitely. So,
and he's only going to gain more support as that story gets out.
Most definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Conservative Viewpoint. Today, we dive deep into the unfolding saga around Washington, D.C. We explored the legal problems and the political implications of the broader context in any cases. But beyond the headlines, we also examined the broader issues of alleged corruption within the Democrat Party. As we wrap up this episode, let's reflect on the gravity of these revelations. The allegations against Hunter Biden, the illegitimate President Joe Biden, have raised concerns about the transparency and accountability and integrity of our political institutions. Whether you lean left or right, it's crucial to demand answers and hold our leaders to the highest standards. But this isn't just about one individual. It's about a system that sometimes seems to prioritize loyalty over justice, party over principle. And while we focus on the Democrats today, let's remember corruption knows no party lines. It's a cancer that infects any organization, regardless of ideology. So where do we go from here? As citizens, we have a responsibility to stay informed, to seek out the truth, to engage in civil discourse. Let's continue to ask the tough questions, demand transparency, and hold our election officials accountable. Our democracy depends on it. So before we sign off, a quick reminder to follow us on Rumble. Mine is Country Conservative and Brendan's is The Brendan Statler Show. So you can stay updated on all the latest developments. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving some good comments in the comments section. It helps us reach more people. So thank you for joining us on this journey. I hope to see you tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, for another episode. So until next time, this is the Conservative Viewpoint. I'm Charlie signing off. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.